Night 1 is finally at an end. I may be riddled with shotgun pellets, missing large chunks of my body, and covered in suspicious clown dust, but I meet the oncoming day with a solemn determination to complete this arbitrary mission that I've set for myself. Between now and dawn, I wander around aimlessly, looking for a nice area to practice how I'm going to woo my boo in the security room. I should mention that aforementioned boo is in fact Jessie, not Otis, even though he comes to a very close second. As I was watching my Top G Academy video classes to learn how to further entice Jessie, the zombies noticed the grind of a real hood hustler and began to defy the laws of physics in order to keep a real one down. Ops will find a way to ride on a homie shit for real dog. Otis once again calls me at an inconvenient time in order to let me know that Jessie has been thinking about me. My queen beckons and I answer. Pushing through the ravenous crowds, I finally make it back to the security room and plan on making my move. I did an excellent job hiding the panic attack due to my intense fear of women. Before I can calm myself down and hit it with the Tate special, Jessie notices an altercation on the monitor. Barnaby is being dragged from the bookstore he was holed up in by a familiar face from the food court. Brad readies his pistol to go after him, and I tag along too. Another change of pants is needed, and this gives me the perfect opportunity to duck into a clothing store. While practicing dismembering the female form in the warehouse, Otis informs me that the gate between the entrance and Paradise Plaza is now open. Inside Paradise Plaza, I discover that Otis is in fact correct, and the zombies are still trying to break the laws of reality to come and kill me. A memory of the indescribable look Adam the Clown gave me passes through my mind's eye, and I find myself in the entrance plaza, walking without a care in the world, as if the nightmare zombies or crazy terrorists weren't currently trying to kill me. Brad elbows me in the spine and we both get into cover. As Brad admonishes me for my carefree soul, Carlito kisses his necklace while spouting some nonsense about John Goodman's character from The Emperor's New Groove. During this, I've noticed that the professor has been tied up in a most kinky manner. One metaphor for how Carlito feels about tied up hopeless old men later, and Brad and I break to teach the Carlito that the B in BDSM stands for consent. Immediately after the cutscene, the zombies swarming the gamey old meal above them ignore their breakfast and immediately come to attack me. While I try to formulate a plan, Carlito does a sick trick shot and shoots me off of the second floor and into a group of zombies waiting below. I break for the bookstore that Professor Barnaby was hiding in and catch my breath. I'm going to need to defeat Carlito as fast as I can in order to give myself as much time as possible during the rest of the day to do all the missions that I need to. I pop a quick step that I had made during the downtime in the morning and run with the force of 2 whole nightmare zombies to fight Carlito. The good old-fashioned plan of hit him with a plastic titty will surely work as well as last time. I get up to the second floor and attempt to dodge Carlito's sniper shot. I dodge the shot as well as a quadriplegic and dodge an oncoming 18-wheeler. After putting my ribcage back into my body, I get up and smack Carlito with the torso. This does a nice bit of damage, but he damn near knocks me out with his sniper rifle. He gives me a parting gift consisting of a pipe bomb and a 50 caliber round for both me and Brad. I'm going to have to change my plan if I'm going to beat this guy. Thankfully, he shot me into a sporting goods store. This gives me time to heal and pull out a sniper rifle of my own to retaliate. Thankfully, Brad distracts Carlito enough to give me an ample amount of time to shoot Carlito, ending the boss fight. Carlito tries to duck out of the fight, but Brad is in pursuit. They both fire at each other, failing to hit anywhere vital, and I embarrass myself while trying to shoot Carlito.
Oh my god, young man, kill yourself!
I had just received a concussion from getting hit on the head with a solid steel muzzle brake, dude. Like, give me a fucking break. We ignore the fact that Carlito very likely broke his legs during the landing and is lying immobile on the floor, and we go save the professor. Brad, with his wounded leg, asks me to take Barnaby back to the security room, and I only do it because I don't have to actually escort the professor like he's a normal survivor. One fade to black later, and everybody's back in the security room. Both Brad and the professor are comatose, which gives me plenty of time alone with Jessie. Unfortunately, she's too concerned with Brad, who's begun to run a fever. Fine, I don't want to confess my dying love to you anyway, bitch. I decide to give Brad some medicine so that I can make up for my poor performance in the entrance plaza. After running out of the room with my tail between my legs, I level up and receive a permanent speed boost. This will prove invaluable in both running from zombies and getting to missions just a bit faster. I make a quick save and head over to the grocery store in the North Plaza. My newfound speed immediately proves its usefulness. In the entrance plaza, I can weave through holes in crowds and use the zombie ride ability to climb on top of a zombie's head and walk over the crowd. I feel like a god amongst men with my newfound ability, only to be immediately humiliated when a zombie vomits blood onto me and I begin to gag uncontrollably. I really hope Kent didn't snap a picture of my moment of weakness from the rafters of the mall. The fruits of my labor from escorting that disgusting pervert Greg saves me a great deal of time when I take the Wanderland Plaza shortcut, which puts me a stone's throw away from the North Plaza's glistening, inviting entrance. Inside the North Plaza, I enter the grocery store and heal whatever health I had lost from errant zombie bites. Otis calls me to ask me to pick up hot dogs and I ignore him. When I'm fully healed, I grab a bottle of Willamette's finest wine and commit a little property destruction. Before I can go into the pharmacy and grab some perks for Brad, I hear the rattle of a shopping cart behind me. Oh well, the last time I had a suspenseful moment where I thought I was in danger, I was surprised by a sexy office lady. Surely this will go as well as last time. Oh God! Instead of a sexy babe, I was jumped by an ugly bastard holding a sexy babe hostage in a cart full of sharp objects. The manager is furious that I had vandalized the butcher department's display and begins to assault me. This begins the boss fight with Steven the manager. Normally this is one of the easiest boss fights in the game, however, due to the nightmare zombies breaking into the store, I'm surrounded before I can get a decent amount of hits off with the torso. Steven takes revenge for years of cheesing him with a small chainsaw and attacks me with my one weakness, shotguns. I have flashbacks to the Cletus fight when I'm stun-locked by multiple shells and left with a single block of health. I thankfully have a decent amount of cover, unlike the fight in the gun store. I manage to get a heal off, and then I'm once again interrupted by Otis, who asks me to also pick him up some potato crisps. I tell him to piss off by having part of my face blown off by some buckshot. Weird ass dude who calls chips crisps. Anyway, I knock Steven down to a single point of health and decide to try to kill him in a funny way. I pick up a bottle of ketchup and throw it at him. However, the ketchup bottle took a vow of pacifism and proceeded to do no damage to Steven. Fine, a bag of flour will be funny, I guess. When the bag of flour proves to be too incompetent to damage Steven, I give up and lob a sniper rifle round directly into his chest. Steven, with his life slowly fading, laments the fact that his store will be left to fend for itself. Whatever, I just need to grab the key and...
Clean up! Register 6!
Damn it, I hate this guy. With Steven fully dead, I'm free to help myself to his war bride. The woman gets up to reveal that she's the sexy Latina baddie from the entrance plaza, so I start to hit her with the moves that Jessie is surely watching from the security room whilst biting her fist and shedding tears of regret for letting this hunk of a gentleman get away. Instead of being charmed, this Mami is furious because she thinks I ruined Christmas and killed Santa or something. I really don't know. As I'm playing this, I have Family Guy funny moments playing on my other monitor. After getting chewed out by the Latin dame, I take Steven's key and raid the pharmacy for opiates that I can sell in the streets when I leave this town and make it as a real OG. I make it back to the safe room with my haul and spare a perk for Brad. Jessie, glad her partner is still alive, lets me take several pictures of her Jessies. Now, I would take these pictures any day of the week to keep them in my private collection, however this time I need to take a photo of Jessie that's worth over 700 PP in order to show Kent and unlock his boss fight further down the line. I take an exceedingly tantalizing photo of Capcom's superior blonde, that's right Cammy Sims, fuck you, and I save my game. With a new material that will make the secret 6th goal of the challenge exponentially more difficult, I save my game and go to fight another psychopath in order to keep myself from adding another layer of crust onto my underwear. I weave my way through the endless crowds of nightmare zombies and go to the North Plaza to meet my next psycho to battle. Inside the hardware store, I discover that the store has been taken over by raiders from Fallout 3 and filled with their tacky interior design. This is a poor way to use hostages. Personally, I would have just sewn the disembodied faces of my captives onto a basketball and left it at an elementary school, but you do you, Cliff. Anyway, speaking of Cliff, our new best buddy himself enters the scene, asking me for my name and rank. I played dumb in order to avoid bringing up my dishonorable discharge, but he doesn't buy it. Cliff mistakes me for Viet Cong and immediately attacks me. Cliff is one difficult boss. He's fast, hides within the floorboards, hits hard, and has grapples that can take out a great deal of my health, and currently has support from the nightmare zombies. After he hands me my ass, I try to put it back on while behind the checkout area. I pick up a boomerang in order to try to channel the spirit of my hero Sokka. Cliff, however, is a Fire Nation sympathizer. He stabs me in the back for my defiance of Fire Lord Ozai and sends me back to the last save. Back in the security room, I shed a single tear, as I just know this is going to be another Cletus fight. I start my journey back to Cliff's foxhole, but before I do, I remember that I had saved before taking those indecent photos of Jessie. I once again get a look at those luxurious triple Ds and head onwards into the next battle, thoughts of holding 2 handfuls of Jessie pushing me onwards. Back in the North Plaza, I decide to stock up on shotguns. Cliff is incredibly elusive. If you manage to get a few hits off on him, he'll fall back on his instincts that he had gained from the cat houses of Saigon and insert himself within the nearest open hole.
You are going to be begging for death to come take you away.
If I can synergize my attacks with the torso with Shotgun Blast, I should be able to take him out relatively quickly. Alright, Cliff take 2. The fight starts with Cliff cutting my spine in half and somehow only managing to damage a single block of health, not even fully removing it. I retaliate with a Shotgun Blast as he runs into one of his hidey holes. Here's where the fun part of the fight begins. Cliff can spawn from any single one of the holes throughout the store, generally the one farthest away from you. When he exits, he can either jump on top of the store's shelves or decide to jump back into the safe crawl space. When I said this fight was fun, I meant the same type of fun that you experience while stuck behind a boomer in traffic while you desperately have to piss. Just like real life, the only way to resolve this situation is with a Remington 870. Throughout the rest of the fight, Cliff will jump up to the top of a shelf, throw a flare to distract me or a pipe bomb to destroy me, and receive a 12 gauge round for his troubles. The fight is time consuming, but I wipe out the last little bit he has left and end the fight right as the next main scoop becomes active. As he lies on the ground, bleeding out, he shows me a photo of his granddaughter. He tells me that he watched her die to a horde of zombies and that it sent his mind spiraling back into the jungles of Vietnam. I respectfully put this warrior to rest, taking the $46.97 from his wallet after I close his eyes. With Cliff defeated, I now have access to his machete, powerful enough to cleave every zombie now surrounding me with ease, but fragile enough to where I would lose it before I reach the security room. I go to the locked storefront next door in order to rescue Cliff's hostages. I convince them that I am of otherworldly origins by using the classic Frank West stationary spin and frighten them enough to bring them under my control. I open a door and let them back into the world for a quick jaunt to the security room. I clear out a path for them and talk to Otis about lunch. One of the trio, Barbara, has escaped and is waiting at the waypoint I had set at the exit. The other 2, however, are nowhere to be seen. God damn it, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I find the other 2 attempting to recreate the human centipede with the pile of dead zombies I had left in front of the store. I guess they got too scared of the zombies that are totally ignoring them and decided that the best way to stay alive was to disgust the zombies, succeeding only in crossing me. I clear out even more zombies, sweating while I look at the dwindling time I have left to get back to the security room. This act of violence emboldens Josh to meet the former alpha of their group at the exit. The final part of the trio, Rich, is still running into a wall, scared for his life. I hand him the shotgun that I had just murdered Cliff with, letting him know that he is so below me, I can hand him my one weakness and he could still not defeat me. With that, he finally speeds to the exit. I am actively worried about my time now. I had spent way too much time trying to corral these subhumans. I guide the group through the park, but it's when I'm halfway through Paradise Plaza I realize that I have no time to wait for these mouth breathers to follow me to the safe room. I leave them in Paradise Plaza and enter the warehouse. It's no problem. All I have to do is reach the security room, watch a cutscene, and then go get the damn it. Okay, fine, I can do this again, whatever. But if I see those 2 morons doing their little extra chromosome crawl, I'm giving them a shotgun enema. I take a picture of Jessie's goods one more time before saving so that I don't have to do this in case I lose the next fight. Same thing again. Gun store run, defeat Cliff, get $46.97 from his pockets, done. This time, the fight with Cliff takes much longer than I had anticipated, leaving me with scant time to save the survivors and get to the security room. I leave these bumbling fools to manage to kill themselves in an empty room, but I desperately need the PP if I'm going to make it to level 50 by the end of the run. I decide that if I can't save them, I can at least get the PP from recruiting them. So I go in, recruit the trio, and immediately make a break for the security room. The sprint back to the security room was intense, between the survivors quickly draining health bars, the even faster draining main quest timer, and the nightmare zombies coming from my perfectly sculpted ass. I'm put under immense stress. What makes it more difficult is trying to pick up Otis's phone calls. I'm waiting for him to let me know about one specific survivor and a psychopath call. With my phone to my ear and ignoring the infant-like cries of Cliff's hostages, I make it back to the security room with minimal time to spare. I breathe a massive sigh of relief and listen to Jessie coddle Brad. What a pussy this guy is. I've been shot with a shotgun multiple times, impaled, and had my genitals made into a chew toy, and I don't need a perk and Miss Mami Milker's doting over me, even though I really would have liked her to. While I silently see that the injustice of it all, Jessie notices blood on my sleeve. I play off the fact that it's most likely mine, and tell her it's from the girl I had saved from Steven the manager. I try to explain where she had gone, but Jessie immediately kills my ego with this line.
Can't really blame her for running from a guy with your looks. Can't really blame her for running from a guy with your looks.
I mention her whole Santa Claus outburst, and Jessie seems to know what happened. Before she can tell me anything about how Christmas was ruined, we hear Dr. Barnaby begin to scream from the other room. He knows something about what happened to Santa. Jessie begins to ask him what had happened with the Christmas caper as I begin to fall into my old ways and start taking more creep shots of this old man. Jessie has had enough of the epic photojournalist moves and locks the door behind her and Barnaby. Damn it. If my plans had gone right this morning, I'd be the one locked in a dusty closet with that babe. I decided to give up on the hunt for now and begin to hunt the Latina baddie on the security cameras. At least I have Otis do it. I've got a bunch of stuff I gotta take care of today, dude. I leave the security room, heading into the entrance plaza so that I can give the pair of survivors time to spawn in Paradise Plaza and to hear the cries of the Cliff trio as they slowly die off in the distance. Back in Paradise Plaza, I come across a new survivor, Pamela. She's trapped in the weird little water fixture thing next to the toy store as a ton of zombies completely ignore her and try to kill me. In a normal playthrough, the zombies would immediately tear her apart, forcing the player to act fast or lose a survivor. I wipe out the immediate crowd around her and jump away, heading to the secret orange juice spawn to recover from my single block of health. I drink the OJ and begin to start firing into the zombies below so that I can recruit Pamela easier. As I'm shooting the zombies, everybody's favorite professional scout impersonator, Kent, arrives on the scene, hungry to see what new masturbatory material I've acquired for him. I tell him to hold on for 1 minute as I run to the cafe and make myself a nectar juice. Drinking this will immediately spawn in a queen, and I'm going to use this queen to kill any zombies that surround us while I wait for Kent to finish his dialogue. This proves an exercise in futility as I realize that I can just kite the zombies around Kent and let him say what he has to say that way. I show a Kent of my tsundere future girlfriend and her massive mammaries, and he is so enamored by her honka-donka-badonkas that he immediately creams his pants and begins to leave. Before he can get the hell out of my sight, he comes up with a one more challenge, telling me to meet him at noon tomorrow and leaves to clean up the massive wet spot in his shorts. With Kent out of my hair for the day, I go back to Pamela, who was once again surrounded by zombies. I hop on top of a nearby planter, waiting for enough zombies to get near so that I can kill them all with one dead queen. I take a picture of the zombies for some quick PP, only to notice that I get a massive amount of PP for taking a photo of the nightmare zombies sprinting towards me. Damn, I think this might come in handy later. I spend some time joking my PP to pictures of zombies next to this frightened young woman, reaching level 15 and further traumatizing her. Alright, fun's fun, but back to business. I throw down the queen and kill every zombie around, eradicating any stragglers before getting Pamela. I laugh at the funny number on her back, that only true gamers know where the origin of the funny number is from. The narwhal bacon's at midnight, right guys? Anyway, I recruit Pamela and then notice her twin sister Heather in the toy store. Heather, crying out the thought of her plan to murder her sister failing, joins our party. I leave them next to the warehouse exit and continue on to grab the next survivor in Paradise Plaza. The next survivor is Ronald, over in the Jill Sandwiches restaurant all the way on the other side of Paradise Plaza. In order to recruit this Taftian beast, you must bring him any piece of food to appease him. A bag of chips spawns directly in the planter next to the fountain, but I'm unable to grab it before 30 zombies run directly in between me and the half-empty bag of Lay's on the floor. I just give him a bag of chips from a trash can, but I'm attacked before I can break it open, and decide to just give him the orange juice that I have in my inventory. I don't have time for this. I hand this rotund monster my only healing item and take a photo of his almost sexual ecstasy from consuming calories. Ronald is a survivor that will give you another quest after rescuing him, so saving this obese waste of space will be vital to reaching level 50. I dismantle Ronald's barricade, letting in all of the surrounding zombies. I bribe those zombies to leave the store by promising them a baybeeee if we leave the store and they buy my trick. I lead them away to give Ronald enough time to run to the waypoint, only to come back and find that he's stuck running into a wall. The next video I do on Dead Rising will be a compilation of every survivor being eaten alive by zombies. I set a waypoint for the front of the restaurant. Both Ronald and the girls go to the waypoint. This wastes a little bit of time, as it would have been easier for just to have the girls to wait by the warehouse as Ronald heads over, but life can never be easy for a real OG hood gangster like myself. I once again set the waypoint for the warehouse, let them run over, and head into the warehouse, taking them back to the safe room without further incident. I hate these people so much. For my troubles, I level up twice, unlocking another block of health and a judo throw I will never use. I go back to Paradise Plaza, dropping a shotgun to pick up another from the gun store before...
The end of the world is upon us.
Damn it, I thought we would have had enough time before they showed up. From now on until the following morning, the mall will be infested by a cult known as the True Eye. They've got a goblin-looking woman held hostage, and they are about to sacrifice her. I'll be damned if I let Free PP escape my grasp. I interrupt the cult meeting, frightening the leader of the cult. Now, fighting these guys is a very delicate process. It'd be easy to just jump them in and wipe them out with the torso or the machete, but the cultists hold the unrelenting power of pocket sand, which will knock me out and cause me to lose time if I'm captured and taken to their secret warehouse. If you damage them enough, they'll try to introduce you to their god by grappling you while holding a lit stick of dynamite. The best way to tackle these guys is to pick them off from a distance with a firearm. Unfortunately, I tossed the only one I had and will have a hard time finding any with the zombies and cultists surrounding me. Truly a rock and a hard place. After fighting the cult and the Nightburn zombies with minimal results, I just say screw it and let the survivor out of her box. She gets out, and while thanking me, she is enveloped by an explosion I had left just for her, leaving her at half health. Thankfully, cultists move at an incredibly slow pace, giving me more than enough time to escape them, leave a waypoint for Jennifer, and get her into the warehouse and into the safe room. God, I'm so tired of these Paradise Plaza survivors. Anyway, after rescuing her, I level up, increasing my attack power. I decide to take a quick peek at the security cameras and discover my new crush entering the grocery store riding a motorcycle. Ooh. I make a solemn vow that she will be mine. The new main quest pops up, and I now have a decent amount of time to go fight the next psychopath before going to confront my new quarry. Girl hunting is an apt name, because that's what I do on Friday nights, hiding in an alleyway, wielding a 2x4 with nails sticking out of it, and dressed up as a clown. Speaking of girls, it's time for me to take on the next psychopath. I grab some weapons from the warehouse and head into the entrance plaza, where I put on a mask that shows the world my true form. Then I decide that's too silly and head into the kids' clothing store in Paradise Plaza in order to put on something more serious. 2 blocks of health be damned, I will go into this next battle wearing something classy. I grab the secret Uzi and take the pervert shortcut into Wanderland Plaza. Inside, I eat a mushy apple someone had thrown from the roller coaster and pass a couple in peril as I head in to fight the next psychopath. Inside this store is Joe, a morbidly obese cop who takes pleasure in tormenting women who are more attractive than her. She sees me and begins to threaten one of her hostages with a nightstick for leading a man into her store. I will act as a true gentleman to save these damsels in distress. I start the fight by unloading my Uzi into this massive beast. Joe sprints up to me and tases me, but in an incredible turn of events, the nightmare zombies storm the store and surround the quivering mess I'm making of myself on the floor to protect me from police brutality. For once, the zombies are a pain for the boss almost as much as they are for me. The horde blocks another attack from me, and a brave zombie takes a skull-crushing blow, giving me a window to hit this cruel beast with a torso attack. Then a number zombie follows up with an epic bitch slap. After taking a pistol whipping, I lead everybody on a Scooby-Doo-esque chase through the store as I talk to Otis about some antiques he had been interested in and regroup to try to heal, taking a bullet instead. I continue with the cartoon antics while talking to Otis about the cosmetic store I frequent. I find another opportunity to hit the cop, getting too greedy after getting 3 good hits in and getting tased for my efforts. As I lie on the floor, recovering from the taser, she begins to torment the nearest captive, Janet. I'm instantly rejuvenated by the taste of a woman's fear and whatever the puddle forming under her is, and get up and bravely make an escape from the situation. Another zombie saves me, taking a bullet meant for my fine ass and saving my life. I won't let his sacrifice be in vain. I hop up on a store display and begin unloading my Uzi into the cop once again. I use the tactics I had gleaned from Cletus, stun-locking her and not giving her a chance to use her weapon. Finally, this big bitch goes down. She falls before me, prostrates, and begins to... I'll just let you watch. I let her do her thing as I do yet another cool pose, doing my best Akuma impression. With the psycho dead, I can save all of the baddies she had captured. Thankfully, despite what they say, I was able to get all of her captives before she killed any of them. My health is down to 2 blocks. The zombies have thrown her truce out and they're back to attacking me. I try to untie as many as the captives as I can. Saving these women will give my PP enough vigor to shoot up to full mast and get me to level 20, completely healing me. I recruit everyone, including Willamette's local titty monster. I leave the store with my harem and set a waypoint at the shortcut. The trauma from their abuse from a trusted member of the community has affected their pathfinding, leaving them stuck on a staircase. This is the rare occasion where survivor AI acting moronically doesn't bother me, as this will make it somewhat less annoying for me to save the hanging couple. How on earth they got up here I will never know. Anyways, I convinced Nick and Sally to stop hanging out by shooting them in the ribs with my Uzi. Alright, that is everybody in Wanderland Plaza at the moment recruited. Nice, alright, time to get them back to the security room, get even more PP, and hit Janet up for her phone number, because I am going to want a taste of whatever I got in my mouth during the fight.
Sweepies.
I set a waypoint by the shortcut and we're all ready to go before I noticed Kelly still stuck in the store. She was scared stiff by a potted plant and wouldn't move another step. After proving myself stronger than the firm, she moves to the waypoint and gets stuck on the stairs again. It's never easy escorting these fools, especially when the zombies are flying in to try and eat you. I wander around Wanderland Plaza trying to figure out a way to get her off the staircase without moving the waypoint, but thankfully she manages to figure it out on her own and spares herself a jump kick down the stairs. Thought it was over? Yeah, I did too as I was writing this, but no. Dead Rising's infamous survivor AI still needs to torment me. I need to get them fully into the bathroom so I can get all of them through the shortcut, and I'll be damned if I'm going to go through the park and risk the convicts managing to kill one somehow. When Kelly and I regroup with the rest of the special ed squad, I try to set a waypoint in the bathroom that most of them just straight up ignore. Hell, this dumb bitch follows me as I lead the zombies away and start trying to fight them. I'm about 2 steps away from ending it all. As I deal with this, I get a call from Otis, telling me that Ronald's blood sugar is down and he needs food. One problem at a time. If he gets hungry enough, he can eat Sophie. Alright, the only way I can do this is by bringing the survivors into the bathroom slowly but surely. I save my game just in case and use the shortcut. If I can get one survivor through the shortcut with me, they'll spawn at the other end of the shortcut in the exact spot I need them in, and will remain there as long as I set a waypoint and don't leave the bathroom. I believe that the zombies will spawn just far enough to allow me to get one survivor in at a time. This thankfully works. Kelly is the first to follow as she is in awe of my ability to defeat potted plants. I take her to Paradise Plaza and then immediately head back into Wanderland Plaza with her, where Janet and Nick realize that I'm not taking them into the bathroom for anything too nefarious and follow me. I head to Paradise and then back into Wonderland. The 3 remaining survivors get stuck on each other in the bathroom's entrance, and I don't want to risk hurting either them or losing my 1 block of health by clearing out zombies. So multiple times they get stuck, and multiple times I have to go through the shortcut until I manage to scream at my screen loud enough in real life for the last 3 survivors to make it through that doorway. Okay, finally, all of them make it through the shortcut, and the urge to castrate myself out of pure fury fades away. Now I'm going double or nothing. I have to make it to the cafe on the 2nd floor of Paradise Plaza in order to heal. If I lose, I'm going to rage quit and just quit the challenge. No, I'm just kidding. Through some masterful uses of the zombie riot skill and desperate jump kicks, I get through the crowd of zombies that had immediately formed in the bathroom. I get upstairs, dodging a big-ass group of zombies at the top, and weave past a gaggle of cultists. Home stretch here. I get to the fridge and grab some OJ as a zombie reaches me and debates killing me. While he does that, I get a heal off on the semi-safe katana awning. For the titty monster, I tell myself, catching my breath. For the titty monster. I set a waypoint at the warehouse and dodge zombies while the survivors try their best to get to safety. Nick gets possessed by the ghost of Rich and or Josh, while What's-Her-Face goes on to fight another horde. Whatever, we all get out of Paradise Plaza at least. As a parting gift, Lily, Nick, and Kelly decide to get stuck in the warehouse when we reach the rooftop. I get them to the rooftop, get them through the vent, and then push two of the dumb hoes out of each other's faces, and then finally get the most annoying survivor escort in this run finished. Only to forget Ronald's food and not only lose an opportunity for PP, but lose a bunch of survivors from the safe room who go to find food for him and dine them all. Thankfully, I don't have to go through the hard part again, as I had saved after getting everyone into Paradise Plaza. Thank God for my paranoia. I grab a pie for that scumbag Ronald before I get everybody into the safe room. Inside, Ronald is freaking out over his lack of food, but I calmly hand him a pie that I had wiped with my own ass off screen. Ronald, filled with near orgasmic joy over the pie, jumps for joy. Little does he know that very soon, that dingleberry pie will come back to torment him. Alright, most difficult part of the night's over. I take a well-needed catnap to save my game and head back into the mall. I prepare myself for the upcoming fight with Isabella by grabbing some OJ from the Paradise Plaza Cafe and head on over to where I had last spotted her in the North Plaza. Not much of interest goes on during my jog to the North Plaza. Originally, I wrote out a very long rant as to why I believe we should resurrect Frida Kahlo, hook her body up to a machine that will keep her alive for eons whilst dilating her perception of time, making a moment in our time feel like an eternity, and then use cutting-edge military-grade VR to torment her until the sun goes out. I cut this from the script because number 1, the video is already exceedingly long, and number 2, she's already in hell. Doing anything that I suggested would be to spit in the face of God. Anyways, I make it into the North Plaza and encounter this sweet mamacita coming out from the grocery store. She unfortunately mistakes me for some sort of unholy man-horse hybrid and hops onto a motorcycle in order to eliminate me from this world. How much longer must I be discriminated against for speaking my truth? The fight with Isabella now begins. She's a moving target on a motorcycle who can knock me over if I'm in melee range if she so much as lightly moves forward on her bike. What do you think is going to be the most effective method of defeating her? That's right, mannequin torso. I don't know why I keep doing this for the psycho fights. Maybe my years of reliance on the small chainsaws are finally catching up to me. Anyways, Isabella has always been a bit of a pain for a based melee cell like myself. Finding a window of opportunity to actually get into range and hit her is very rare, especially with the nightmare zombies holding me back and ruining every chance I get to slap this hoe up. If I get close enough, I can get a hit or two off, but at the cost of several blocks of health when she decides to run me over. Isabella doesn't run into walls and get stuck nearly as often as the convicts do, so this is one pain in the ass of a fight. She runs circles around me on her motorcycle as Joe looks up from her place in the afterlife and laughs at the irony of the situation. I get a hit or two on her, but after wasting too much time, I wise up and grab a cop's gun from his holster. He wasn't using it. I reach a safe area on the scaffolding above her, take aim, and proceed to jump down and try to hit her with the torso again. I just can't help myself. For my foolishness, I'm booted back to my last save. Fine, I guess I'll use my frickin' lame-ass Second Amendment rights to try to win this fight. I hit up the gun shop and load up on firearms in order to defeat this motorcycle menace. I give her the old Cletus special right as the fight starts and take off a nice chunk of her health, then jump up to the scaffolding again, only to find her fleeing the scene and out of my sight. I assume the devs made her do this in order to keep players from easily defeating her with the old Obi-Wan special. I jump down to fight her on her own terms and easily defeat her. She falls off of her bike and is incapacitated. I run to get more information from her social security number, when she's alone and most vulnerable, normal first date stuff. She mistakes my actions for something most ungentlemanly and kicks me directly right in my PP storage. I get on top of her, hold her down, and scream directly in her face that I wasn't going to hurt her, immediately calming her down. Yet another time, the old scream in her face trick works wonders on the ladies. She starts asking me questions, but I hit her with a horse pun in order to further woo this sexy Latina girl boss. I ask her about Barnaby's Christmas caper, and she mentions that the zombies were a Christmas wish from America. Anyways, she mentions that I can get more information on the origins of the outbreak from her brother Carlito. She tells me she'll set me up with her meeting so he can vet me and make sure I'm good for his hermana. She goes to set up the meeting, and I think about how I'm totally going to get that post in the immediate future. With Isabella defeated, I now have access to her motorcycle. It spawns right in front of the grocery store, and I can take it from there all the way to the food court. Unfortunately, I can't bring it through loading screens where I have to get off of it, so I'm limited to where I can take this windfall of transportation. In the entrance plaza, somebody's pinned down by sniper fire. I have PTSD flashbacks to how badly I botched defeating the last entrance plaza sniper, so I head over there to try to redeem myself. On my way to the psycho fight, I make myself some quick step in the food court to make the fight easier and help me to get to my date with Isabella on time after defeating the snipers. Within the entrance plaza, I am once again overcome by my lackadaisical nature as I'm in the sights of a family of hunters. Unfortunately, these hunters are absolutely blind and mistake me for a deer rather than my true horse form. The patriarch and oldest brother egg the 20-year-old who still calls his dad daddy to shoot me. I cringe from hearing that and pounce into action. If the Sniper Carlito fight was the promising older brother that finished college and got its master's, then the fight with the Hall family would be the brother born with severe autism who rams his head into walls and can only be calmed with a specific scene from Space Chimps that runs from 42 minutes and 33 seconds to 46 minutes and 12 seconds. I run up to the snipers and, for the purposes of family bonding, take a .308 round directly into my left lung as the father and older brother high-five each other, giving me a nice PP boost when I take a photo of it. This fight is more of a fight against the zombies and time. I've hardly got any time to fight these guys, save the 4 survivors in the area, and then return to Isabella in the North Plaza. I defeat them by shattering Papa Hall's spine with a torso, restraining myself from making a masturbation joke whilst killing Jack, and putting sad little Thomas out of his misery. Alright, my meeting with Isabella is in about an hour or so I have to save the 4 numbskulls that have spontaneously appeared in the plaza and then get the hell back to the North Plaza. I first grab the original target of the newly extinct Hall clan, Wayne. I convince him to leave his disgusting little corner by showing him the broken body of Jack. I leave Wayne and head downstairs and into a nearby clothing store so that I can pick up the next survivor, Jolie, and then I immediately turn around and leave her to die. I mean, look at the amount of zombies blocking the entrance. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to get this chick and her totally platonic friend upstairs out in time. I leave Jolie to die of a grief-induced heart attack while I think about getting a heart attack from eating some burger steaks from Jollibee's. They're not sponsoring us or anything, I'm just hungry as I write this, and Jolie's name kind of reminded me of that place. Leaving Wayne by the exit, I head upstairs to grab Floyd from the antique store. Floyd is an ancient old man who wishes to die peacefully in the corner of what is essentially a permanent yard sale within a mall. Unfortunately for him, I require the PP he will give me now and the PP he will give me from a quest later on in the playthrough. It's a mad dash through a zombie-infested mall and death by torture in a government black site for him. After wasting minutes of my precious time, he lets me pick him up and give him a piggyback ride back to the safe house. Yeah, saving these scumbags has put me in one hell of a bad position. I've got seconds to get to the meeting place with Isabella, so I pop a quick step and make a mad sprint to the North Plaza and end up being late while I'm only 15 feet away from the meeting spot. I tell you, going into my backyard and eating handfuls of dirt and rocks until I die sounds much more appealing than going through all this again. Alright, back to the save before the Isabella fight. Quick scoper, balls kicked, snipers defeated, done. This time I don't even bother trying to save anyone but Floyd. Although he takes forever to talk to and recruit, I can carry him. Carrying him means that I won't get grabbed by zombies and I don't have to fight the survivor AI as he has been assimilated into my body. With Floyd saved, I head over to the North Plaza for the meeting. In front of the store, I encounter another survivor, Kendall. He's a survivor with another quest down the line associated with him, so he's coming along with me. I get up to him to try to recruit him, and he talks to me as casually as a chat with a postman on a Sunday morning as he hits me with a stray shotgun pellet. Okay, Kendall, let me just back up really quick to... If I can just drink this milk, we can all... Alright, you piece of shit, I tried playing nice. Day 2 has proven to be a massive pain in the ass. I reload my save and redo everything in the last paragraph, including killing Kendall. There is no room for traitors in my security room. I await Isabella in our meeting place, too annoyed to make any sort of jokes about us doing the deed. She suddenly bursts into the room, bringing in new competition for her heart. I know I didn't make a joke about making advances on her, but that does not mean I'm not interested. I kill the interloper and discover that Isabella is persona non grata with her brother after a minor domestic dispute. I haul her onto my back and carry her back to the safe room. During our leisurely stroll, Carlito gets on the mall's PA system and cries about how he didn't mean to shoot her, and that's just how he greets everybody. Just like with Floyd, unless a zombie swipes at me, I'm mostly safe within a horde. This will be the easiest survivor escort. I get Isabella back to the security room to show her off as my new girlfriend and totally make that blonde bitch feel jealous. Thankfully, Brad's awake now, so I can leave her on the bed. If he had been asleep, I would have just thrown him on the rooftop and let him sweat out his fever there. Jessie looks on in awe at the type of gyad I can riz up, while Brad puts her in DHS custody to try to steal my hoe once all of this is over. I'd like to see him try. I've got some time before Isabella wakes up, so I head around the mall making quick steps and grabbing shotguns for the upcoming boss fight later on. When I feel a shiver in my spine and a tickle in my prostate, I know Isabella's awake. I get back to the security room to find Brad interrogating my Isabella. She reveals that her family's Christmas was spoiled one year when Barnaby used the zombie wasps to steal all of the presents from her hometown or something. Peter Griffin gets molested a lot in this show. Barnaby, cringing at having his Grinch phase revealed, tries to reassert himself as the true alpha male and attempts to motorboat Jessie. I kick the Christmas hater in the head, hearing yet another moistening sound coming from Jessie. Aw yeah, back in the game. Barnaby starts seizing on the floor, which gives me an idea for an epic analog horror series. Brad ruins my future YouTube fame by shooting my new star in the face. Damn it, how am I going to amass enough followers to pull the old Adam Rosner special now? I think Isabella agrees to help us or something, I don't know. I'm pissed at the loss of my fame and decide to take my anger out on a local spiritual leader. Before heading into the movie theater to confront the full force of the true Cult, I grab the hidden Uzi in Paradise Plaza. This will be a surprise tool that will help us later. In case I need a backup weapon, I make a Spitfire juice. That will make me spit with the force of a handgun bullet. Can't believe city boys have to use a fruity Lala juice to come close to what real dippers like me can do in real life. Before reaching the cult leader, I come across a crowd of the cultists lined up in a perfect firing squad line. This is where the Uzi comes in. A pile of bodies later, and I'm in the theater. I enter the theater and... Hey, wait a minute. No, hey, if I can't use my goon material this run, it means you can't either. It looks like the cult has been stealing from my house and worshipping my special edition Silent Hill real doll. I will not show thieves any mercy. The fight with the cult leader, Sean, begins. Sean's fight is a relatively easier version of Cliff's. He moves somewhat fast and hits hard, but unlike Cliff, he doesn't have anywhere to hide from me. I use the rest of what I've got in my Uzi and hit him with a classic shotgun quickscope and end the fight. In Sean's final moments, he beseeches my doll for help, who uses the massive sword I left in her chest to stab him in the eye. What a horrible day. I calm down and realize that there are multiple people that have been tied up here, including one sexy babe locked in the nearby supply closet. Before I can save any of them, the theater is flooded with the remaining cultists. I dispatch all of them with my trusty pocket sledgehammer and begin untying all the victims. Inside of the empty closet is the aforementioned sexy babe who is immediately smitten by me and joins the party. Now, anytime being locked within a small dark closet with a sexy woman in a skimpy dress would be great, but this time is different. For some reason the game glitches out and I'm locked in the closet with Cheryl. Fine. I'll just do it all over again. Not the first time I've had to restart today. Thankfully, Sean's boss fight isn't really hard. Before I grab to the theater to redo anything, I head to the maintenance tunnels underneath the mall to grab a floating video game key. This is another surprise tool that will help us in the next video. Anyways, I kill the sex doll thieves again and save the hostages. It's another average survivor escort after this. Despite the zombies once again breaking the laws of physics, the survivors are saved without further incident. I save the sexy broad and fall to my knees in real life. All the challenges have weighed on my soul. I'm a broken man. I get into the fetal position and begin to cry. I close my eyes and see visions of the coming day, a day in which I'll be shot, blown up, and taught the true meaning of Christmas. Thank you all very much for watching, and a special thank you to all of our new subscribers. Look forward to me finally being hunted down for my sins by the federal government in the next video. If you want me to survive their onslaught, like and subscribe. If not, like and subscribe to see me executed in Guantanamo Bay. Have a good night, guys.